How many of you love adventures? And how many of you love adventures, but you feel like it's just on the edge of your comfort zone and you're not so sure? Well, I'm Lisa McIntyre, and I am here to talk about how to embrace your inner gypsy. Oh, yeah. Releasing your inner gypsy is about moving from your head to your heart and getting unstuck from the world that you have surrounded yourself with. I'm not saying it's all bad. I'm saying that very, very frequently we get a little inundated with our lives and we don't give ourselves the freedom to actually get to know who we are. We just kind of getting pushed and pushed and pushed by society and expectations and of ourselves, from ourselves and from others. So before I start, I want to thank the American Medical Association for having me here today. I realize this is a non-medical discussion. However, balance is critical in the lives of everybody. And if you are more fulfilled and whole, you can then share with your patients and your staff. I know that the staff in medical offices and hospitals, they're worked pretty hard, and I think love goes a long way in a situation like that. With our 30 minutes, I also want to, with our 30 minutes or so, you will walk away with 3 techniques that you can put to use right now to release some of your things that hold you captive in your life, which actually is what my book Living Small and Being Whole is all about. And if we have time, we'll talk about it a little bit in the end. But the 3 things we'll talk about is how to live more simply and reduce chaos in your life. Who would like to live a little more simply? Just to have space to be without doing, just to be. And how about that voice? How many voices do you have in your head? And how do you know which one to listen to and when? Sometimes it's about embracing those voices and having a conversation with them and finding out where the balance lies. And you start believing in you and listening to yourself instead of all the people around you. You got enough going on right here and right here to make your own choices. And then we'll give you a little bit of a roadmap. To your next adventure, because adventure to me equals freedom. Freedom. And what does that feel like? Right? Freedom. So what does it really mean to be a gypsy? What does it really mean to be a gypsy? There are all different ways to feel about it. Does anybody wish to share? Well, I'd like to define what I perceive a gypsy as being. Me. Really, truly a free spirit, or one that has one inside of them that just needs to be released. Someone who seeks freedom to live fully instead of following the crowds and expectations of their culture. Now, I'm not saying that's bad. Being a gypsy takes that into consideration. Our humanness, our responsibilities to our families, our friends. Yes or yes. I'm suggesting that if we feel more free, then we will make our lives bigger. Our hearts will be bigger. They are giving us more opportunity to show up and be better parents, better doctors, better lovers, better partners, and better friends. Yes? Does that make sense? When we are filled, we have more to give, and we are happier. We have more patience, more love, and much more compassion. Let me share my story with you. It's a story with you. It's a story about me. I've been married and divorced 3 times. How many? 3 times. And I've been single for 16 years. Several years ago, my father apologized to me for those marriages and for those divorces. Why? Because he abused me sexually when I was a young girl. I was, I think, around 11 or 12. Can't quite figure out when, as I blocked out a whole section of my life. And one of the things that was so hard about this sexual abuse, and sexual abuse is hard for anybody. And my father in particular, our relationship was fabulous. He was my hero. We did everything together. I wasn't so close to my mother as I was to my father. He taught me how to play baseball. He taught me how to run. He taught me how to mow the yard and trim the trees. Taught me how to ski. I was raised in Arizona, but we used to go to Sunrise Ski Area. He and I watched football every single Sunday. We sat in front of that TV and watched. At the time, it was only two games a Sunday. So you can see when this happened to me, it was devastating. It broke my trust in my relationship with my father. Therefore, as it goes on, my relationship with men and actually everybody. And it also destroyed my relationship with me. How do I trust myself when I didn't know enough about that time? So that left me empty for many, many, many years. And as I became an adult, I, first of all, remembered what had happened. Do you know any people who've been abused sexually? There are many ways of abuse, and the only one I know of is sexual abuse, or know about is sexual abuse. And many of us block it out of our lives, and we go on as if it didn't happen because of our fear and our shame and our guilt. When I was about 30, and I think it's this common, it came out, I started remembering things, and it wasn't very pretty. But as I grew through that and went through counseling and confronted my father and worked through it, I realized that there's something in life called passion. And passion is what I lost. So, wedding number three. August day, Denver was a hot August day. I decided to go, third wedding. How much do you want to spend on a wedding dress? I spent $100 and I got a wedding dress that was beautiful, but it came up to here and it had long sleeves. I was roasting. My husband-to-be is next to me, and the pastor kept saying, so when you get married, there's a lot of passion, and then there's passion, passion. The only word I heard was passion, and I didn't know what it meant. I had no idea what it meant. In the meantime, my husband-to-be is crying. I'm seeing that this is probably not where I'm supposed to be, getting married again. So that day resonated in my mind. So as time goes on, I went through another divorce and was raising my children, still processing passion. And I realized passion to me is getting out in the world, meeting people, seeing the way people live in their everyday lives. And what do? Road trips. I love road trips. So I want you, with that in mind, passion. What makes you passionate? What brings passion into your world? Please take a couple of minutes. Take a pen. If you don't have one, I've got one here for you. Piece of paper, and write down 10 things that make you feel passionate, that bring you passion, or words that help you identify with passion. And I'll give you 2 minutes. And we'll come back and we'll talk about those things. All right, that's what I'm going to share with you today. It's almost 10 minutes long, but since it's almost my last one, I wanted to share a little bit more. Thank you. Peace out.